In the heart of Beijing lies a mystery wrapped in vermilion walls and golden tiles. For nearly 6 centuries, this has been the most powerful address on earth, home to 24 emperors who ruled as sons of heaven. This is the Forbidden City. 980 buildings. 9,999 rooms. 72 hectares of imperial grandeur. For 500 years, this was the center of the Chinese universe, and for commoners, it was absolutely forbidden. The year is 1402. The Yongle Emperor has just seized power in a bloody civil war. Beijing is a frontier city, far from the established capital of Nanjing. But Yongle has a vision that will reshape China forever. The Yongle Emperor understood that power isn't just about military might, it's about symbols, about creating an environment that makes your authority seem inevitable, even divine. Construction began in 1404. Over 1 million workers, craftsmen, laborers, and artisans toiled for 16 years. They moved mountains of earth, quarried millions of stones, and felled entire forests. The human cost was staggering. This wasn't just building a palace, this was creating a physical manifestation of the Chinese worldview. Every beam, every tile, every courtyard was positioned according to ancient principles that connected earth to heaven. At the heart of it all sits the dragon throne, in the hall of supreme harmony. From here, the Son of Heaven ruled over what the Chinese considered the entire civilized world. But the Forbidden City was more than a seat of power. It was home to thousands of people who lived their entire lives within these walls. The emperor, his family, hundreds of concubines, thousands of eunuchs, and countless servants. People romanticize palace life, but the reality was often quite different. Yes, there was luxury, but also incredible isolation, paranoia, and rigid protocol that governed every moment of every day. The emperor's day began at 4 a.m. with ritual ablutions. Every meal was tested for poison. Every visitor was screened through multiple layers of security. The most powerful man in China was also, in many ways, the most imprisoned. The imperial garden provided the only respite, a carefully crafted landscape that brought nature within the palace walls. Here, emperors could pretend, for a moment, that they were free. The garden represents the Chinese concept of the ideal relationship between humanity and nature, controlled, harmonious, but ultimately artificial. From the 18th century onward, the real seat of power moved here, to the Hall of Mental Cultivation. This modest building witnessed some of the most crucial decisions in Chinese history. The last emperor, Puyi, was crowned here in 1908 at age 3. He would rule over the decline of an empire that had lasted over 2,000 years. By the early 20th century, the Forbidden City had become a museum to its own past. The emperor was a puppet, and the real power lay with foreign nations and warlords. Revolution, war, and neglect took their toll. From above, the Forbidden City reveals its deepest secrets. Every building is positioned according to feng shui principles and ancient Chinese cosmology. The entire complex is a 3-dimensional mandala. The emperor sits at the center, representing the pole star around which all heaven revolves. Every detail has meaning. The dragons have 5 claws, only the emperor could use 5-clawed dragons. The roof tiles are yellow, the color of earth, and of imperial power. The walls themselves tell a story. 10 meters high, 3 meters thick, they created a world within a world. Inside was order, hierarchy, and absolute power. Outside was chaos, revolution, and change. Today, the Forbidden City receives over 19 million visitors annually. It has become what it was never meant to be, a place open to all. The palace houses over 1.8 million artifacts, paintings, ceramics, jade, bronze, and silk that span thousands of years of Chinese civilization. Modern conservation techniques help preserve these treasures for future generations. As night falls on Beijing, the Forbidden City stands as it has for 6 centuries, a monument to human ambition, creativity, and the eternal tension between power and beauty. The throne sits empty now, its power transferred to museums and memory. But its lesson remains: civilizations rise and fall, but what they create in stone and wood and art can outlast any empire. The Forbidden City is ultimately a mirror. What we see when we look at it says as much about us as it does about the people who built it. In a world of constant change, the Forbidden City remains, no longer forbidden, no longer the center of earthly power, but still magnificent, still mysterious, still reaching toward heaven.
Thanks for watching.